Clark, pretty step back, hits a three. Got a little separation.
On the basketball floor, where Caitlin Clark is rewriting the script on rookie greatness, the focus is quite clear. With every assist and every amazing move, the Indiana Fever youngster wonders is altering the game rather than simply participating. Imagine seeing a young star who not only satisfies but also breaks beyond the great expectations put upon her, game after game. That star is Caitlin Clark. Her most recent game versus the Phoenix Mercury has everyone talking.
The first rookie in WNBA history, you see it right there, to record a triple-double. The league started in 1997. There have been over 1,000 players.
The recent clash between Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark has captured significant attention in the WNBA. The seasoned veteran Taurasi, who has been a dominant force in women's basketball for decades, faced off against the rising star Clark, known for her incredible scoring ability and record-breaking college career. This matchup has reignited discussions about the generational shift in the league and the challenges faced by both players.
In the last 10 games, important for her to get early shots and confidence.
That one goes down.
Confidence never a problem for number 3. They've seen it the last 10 games. They've seen it the first 5 minutes.
Diana Taurasi, at 42, remains a formidable presence in the WNBA, representing the Phoenix Mercury. Despite her age, she continues to deliver impressive performances, although her inclusion in the Team USA roster over younger players like Clark has sparked debate. Caitlin Clark, the top pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, has quickly made a name for herself with the Indiana Fever, displaying the talent and competitiveness that made her a standout in college basketball.
It's great for our league, but also at the same time, there's been so many talented players in our league that have been tremendous for so many years. It's fun for us to get to come into this league, live out our dreams, and play against people that we probably idolized growing up, dreaming of moments like this.
The tension between Taurasi and Clark began to escalate during the NCAA tournaments, when Taurasi publicly favored another player, Paige Buchers, over Clark. This sparked a series of exchanges and comparisons, with Taurasi expressing skepticism about Clark's transition to the WNBA. She remarked on the differences in playing against collegiate athletes versus seasoned professionals, hinting that Clark would face a steep learning curve.
Just the 15th player in Division I history with 3,000 career points.
In a recent game, Clark's performance against Taurasi's team underscored this rivalry. Clark's near triple-double led the Indiana Fever to a victory over the Phoenix Mercury, highlighting her impact as a rookie. Taurasi, on the other hand, struggled with her shooting, showcasing the challenges of maintaining peak performance later in a career. This dynamic has not only been a focal point on the court, but also in the media. Taurasi has faced criticism for her blunt comments and the decision to keep Clark off the Olympic roster. Despite this, Taurasi defended her stance, emphasizing the need for experience and proven chemistry in international competitions. The ongoing storyline between these two athletes symbolizes the broader narrative of mentorship and competition within the league. Taurasi's career, marked by numerous accolades and a storied legacy, stands as a benchmark for upcoming players like Clark, who are eager to make their mark. This rivalry, while contentious, also serves as a rite of passage, reflecting the evolution and continuous growth of women's basketball.
Well, I certainly thought that she had some moments in the first half that she would want to take back. But the third quarter was the tide that changed everything in the game. And the Fever outscored Phoenix.
The face-off between Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark represents more than just a competitive game. It highlights the transition of power within the WNBA, the challenges of sustaining excellence over a prolonged career, and the emergence of new talent ready to redefine the future of the sport. This storyline will likely continue to evolve as both players navigate their paths, contributing to the rich tapestry of women's basketball history.
Team 5 run here for the Mystics after the Fever rattle off the first 5. Clark trying to answer, and does with a 3. Well, that'll get you back in it quickly.
Clark's work is very amazing. For the third straight game, she tallied 13 assists, an accomplishment that astounds both supporters and detractors. But the Fever's path over this game needed to be more seamless. A near collapse from a dominating 31-point lead gave Clark's genius a dramatic setting. Imagine this. Usually calm, Clark hits the bench out of irritation during a timeout as the Mercury approaches. From the sidelines, the great Diana Taurasi watches the drama play out. out. This game highlighted the heights and troughs of the Fever season and was an emotional roller coaster. Opening the game with a dominant presence, Clark set a new record in Fever history by dishing 7 assists in only the first quarter. Her chemistry with Kelsey Mitchell was evident as the two linked naturally and remarkably precisely turned plays into points. Clark seemed to be leading an orchestra, every pass a note in a symphony of ability.
Pick in the 2024 WNBA Draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
But the second half of the game turned out quite otherwise. At first unbeatable in the first half, the Fever soon looked vulnerable. The Mercury made a comeback, greatly closing the difference. The Fever's previously comfortable advantage had dropped to just 4 points with 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Clark's obvious irritation was evidence of her competitive nature and drive for success. The Fever came out with a 95-86 triumph despite the stressful times. But the almost meltdown begged serious concerns about the team's consistency. How did they almost lose it all in one half and rule so convincingly in the other? This disparity bothers me, particularly for a club hoping for playoffs. The coaching staff is under close examination under Christy Sides. Many of the loud critics of the coaching staff are advocating changes in it. Fans pointing out the team's failure to maintain a consistent performance call into doubt Christy Sides' leadership. With 7 of their previous 11 games under their belts, the Fever has a record of 10-14, an improvement. If the club keeps failing, however, more than this progress may be needed to keep Sides in his post. For the Fever, Clark's exceptional genius offers a ray of hope. With 20 points and 13 assists in her 6th straight double-double, she really is remarkable. With an average of 18.3 points and 11.7 assists over the last 7 games, Clark's stats more recall a seasoned veteran than a rookie. Her 7 assists in the first quarter against the Mercury reflect her changing function as a point guard and team captain. Diana Taurasi's presence in the spectators gave the game even more meaning. Legend in the WNBA Taurasi saw Clark's rule and felt as if the torch was being passed symbolically. Beyond just winning games, Clark is playing to leave a legacy and motivate the next generation of athletes. But the irregularity of the Fever clouds Clark's successes. Being a team sport, basketball requires a consistent squad to support Clark regardless of how well she performs. The team's unpredictable performance might compromise not just their playoff prospects, but also Clark's chances of Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year competition is really tough, with an outstanding 14 straight double-double.
I'm a dog. You can't teach that. I'm gonna go out and do whatever it takes to win every single night. My teammates rely on my energy. So being able to continue the energy, even if we're down, even if we're up, that's what I do.
There's just so much talent in this rookie class, and I think everybody's really.
Clark is up against Angel Reese. Reese and Clark have been elected All-Stars, underscoring the great stakes in this contest. The unpredictability of the Fever might eclipse Clark's unique genius, therefore negating her amazing season. The Fever has a key time to deal with its problems as the Olympic break draws near. There may be major changes at this time, maybe new coaching staff or roster changes to assist Clark. The choices taken during this break will be crucial and affect not just the rest of the season, but also Clark's professional path. The future of Christy Sides as head coach hangs precariously. Her dismissal cries are becoming louder, and management may have to act. Team chemistry might alter with a coaching change. It needs to be clarified how Clark's performance would change too. The Fever is in a vulnerable situation. The playoffs approach. Every victory counts toward a slot. Hence, consistency is more important than ever. The weight on Clark and the Fever is growing. Every game from here on out is crucial. Hence, the team's capacity to manage pressure will define their future. Both supporters and experts are eagerly watching to see if the Fever can live up to expectations or whether it will give in under the strain of inconsistency ahead for the Fever and Caitlin Clark. The Olympic break might offer the required adjustments to help the squad to become stable. Whether it's a fresh coaching plan or roster improvements, something has to be done to maximize Clark's abilities and validate team performance. The choices taken now will reflect throughout the season and maybe Clark's career. For fans, our comments and support are very important. Your thoughts on the future of the Fever and Clark's Rookie of the Year prospects are very vital. Talk to us, let us know what you think, and keep tuned for the most recent changes. If you want more in-depth research like this, subscribe to the channel, set the bell for alerts, and like the video. The WNBA season is getting hotter, and the stakes are bigger than they have ever been. The Fever's path promises to be an exciting trip as the playoffs loom ahead. The narrative of Caitlin Clark is one of ability, will, and the search for excellence. Let us keep on this amazing trip and find out where it goes. Join us as we chronicle every minute of this fantastic season. Clark's path is evidence of both pure brilliance and diligence. Her classmates need help understanding the game, predicting moves, and executing precisely. Every game she participates in closes another chapter on her developing legacy. Her exciting performances enthrall fans throughout the league, and she obviously has a great future. She leads clearly on the court already. Even a beginner, Clark inspires her colleagues and demands respect. Her contagious love of the game drives everyone around to improve their performance. The Fever are fortunate to have such a transforming player. They must assemble a squad capable of matching her caliber and ability. Off the court, Clark's impact is growing. Young athletes look up to her as they find in her a role model who embodies commitment and excellence. Her narrative speaks to individuals outside of basketball and motivates them to follow their aspirations relentlessly. Not just in the numbers Clark accumulates, but also in the hearts of supporters and future players. Management of Fever is a big responsibility ahead of time. The priority should be making sure Clark gets the tools she needs to keep performing at excellence. The club has to give stability and development priority, whether through strategic trades, improved coaching, or more intensive training regimens. There is a promise. Only the correct surroundings will allow it to grow. In the middle of the difficulties, Clark stays attentive. She aims to improve her team as much as her achievements. She is unique because of her double attention to team achievement and personal brilliance. She is playing not just for each teammate, but also for every supporter. This road depends much on the fan base of the Fever. Their constant support and loud encouragement provide the squad with the vitality it needs to get through difficult circumstances. The voices of fans count and may affect management choices. Following Clark and the Fever lets supporters present a strong, cohesive front. Looking forward, the next few weeks will be crucial. The Olympic break is an opportunity for regrouping, strategic review, and return strength building. This is a time for introspection and readiness that will help the second half of the season to be more robust. The Fever has to make careful selections now that will improve their performance and confirm their playoff prospects. The WNBA community is keeping a careful eye. Clark's performances have attracted national attention and increased the visibility of the Fever's games. This exposure presents pressure as well as a chance to highlight the team's capabilities. Under Clark's direction, the Fever has the potential to become league-wide major players and headliners. Every game starting now is a test. Can the Fever maintain the consistency and energy required to guarantee a playoff position? Will they flutter under strain or rise to the call? The responses to these questions will help to define their season and maybe Clark's debut year. Every minute on the court presents an opportunity to establish oneself. Clark's narrative still needs to be finished. Every game opens a fresh story with highs and lows, successes and difficulties. Being supporters gives us great honor to see this trip come to pass. Though her road forward remains unknown, one thing is certain: Caitlin Clark is a rising talent with a bright future. Thus, let's maintain our sights on the goal even as we anticipate the rest of the season. The Fever has skill, desire, and the ability to do big things. Anything is conceivable under Clark leading the charge. Let's help them all the way, applauding them as they follow their aspirations. Caitlin Clark's outstanding performance has given the Indiana Fever hope as well as difficulties. She is clearly talented, but the squad has to establish consistency if it wants to use her possibilities properly. The next weeks will be vital, and traversing this road will depend much on the support of the supporters. Let's honor Clark's genius together. The big question is, will she win the Rookie of the Year? Well, let's eagerly await what seems to be an amazing season ahead.